let's get Nick on, dude. I'm fired up to hear him. He gets me excited.
Yeah, I saw Jamie's message. Jamie, what'd you say he did? 57,000 is what he submitted in March already?
He's submitted.
Yeah.
He's yep.
Yeah,
And-
written 57,000 in premium.
So
All simplified issue business. Now, I ain't mad at y'all that write the IULs. I like them. But this is business that if they all get approved, he'll be paid. In fact, if he submitted all of that prior to today, he would have been paid almost all of the $57,000 by tomorrow, which is mind-boggling to me. It's life-changing. So Nick, get up on here, bro. Where are you at?
I'm here.
And bless you, Angie. I saw you sneeze like 15 times.
Yeah.
All right. So Nick, what's up, my guy?
Not too much. Yeah, man. I love that. I just want to piggyback off what you guys, where you guys were at with, number one, giving, man. Right. You know, I remember a lot of you guys know, part of my story, man, that my daughter was sick when I was 2. And, you know, when you guys were talking about that, I was thinking about that, like just sacrificing, right? Like when she was sick, man, you got 2 options, man. You could sit down and kind of like, yeah, everybody just dwindles out, or you can dive in, man. And so like at that time, I was doing physical labor. I was cutting meat still. And I knew that wasn't going to work, man. I knew I needed it. I knew I had a business acumen. I knew how to hustle, man. And I knew how, you know, to a lot of the hustle was a wrong hustle at the time, right? But I knew how to make things work, man, how to flip money. So I was like, I need to figure out how to do this legitimate, right? You know, so I was like, you know, let me go to school. Again, so this draws into what Mike was saying with the explicit thing, you know, like, let me go to school, let me go into college, let me see if that is the route. And again, I'm doing all this as Camilla's sick, man. So Camilla's sick, she's in the hospital. I was like, I need to figure this out, man. We were getting wrecked with medical bills at the time. I was like, I cannot do this, you know, take accountability. Had I had money put up, none of that would have happened, period. You know, like I could take, you know, I've said it time and time again, I could have sat back and be like, well, you know, these are just uncommon circumstances and blah, 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 right? But who gives a shit? You know, really, nobody cares. You know, at the end of the day, like if it's the accountability is on me, man, I took my wife's hand in marriage and said, you know, that I can provide for you and I can be a protector for you. So that's my job at that point. Circumstances don't matter, man. Right. So, you know, you got to take accountability, man. Pull yourself up by the bootstraps and do what you got to do. So I remember going to school, but I also remember, I started being an armor bearer to my pastor at that time, man. Like, so you know, I would do whatever he needed, man. I would carry his books for him. I would just be his right hand. Some of you guys see like me post Michael Phillips. That was my pastor, man. And that changed my life, man. You know, like, so I didn't go in there like, man, things are so terrible. Can everybody pray for me? Like, it was never that, man. I would go in there sometimes, like, and I would be in the hospital for 4 days straight in the same clothes. And I would go in there and I would serve, man. You know what I mean? Like, and my wife would be at the hospital with my sick kid. But it's like, all right, we're either going to step into the fire and walk through this thing, or we're gonna get rolled over, man. So like that's what I do, man. You know, like, and I think everybody has that in them, but you have a choice to do it. Like, you're either gonna look whatever that thing is in the face, man, and tell that thing I ain't moving. Period. Whatever adversity is coming to you, like, look, I ain't going nowhere. So good luck. Or you're gonna move, man. And I ain't moving. I know that, you know, first and foremost, man. And that's the same thing with everything. You know, same approach I took with boxing. You know, like somebody's calling, you know, everything's going wrong. Look, man, that there's a fear factor that's blocking something. And instead of dealing with it, you try to avoid it and circumvent it and go around it, you know, and it's not even a roadblock. A lot of times it's a speed bump. And instead of like stopping the car, just keep going and go over the speed bump, you know, whatever that is, man. And I remember when I would box, and I would box pros, man. And I know I was about to go in there and get whooped. Like, it wasn't even like I think I might be pretty close. Nah, I knew I was about to get smoked, man. And I would just take a big, deep breath in my nose, out my mouth. Like, all right, let's go. Let's go get whooped. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes it's just no way around that. There is no way around that. So yeah, man, a lot of goals right there. You know, serve when you don't want to serve, man. So serve how it's going to be at a very uncomfortable spot, but you're going to grow so much in that spot, man. You know, like, and then that's when God's really going to, like, you know, they say God gives it, you know, strongest battles to his strongest warriors. You know what I mean? It's the toughest battles to his strongest warriors. You got to prove that thing, man. And then again, like Mike was saying, you know, like, that is something I cannot stand that, you know, you know, that explicit thing, you know, and I call it a theorist, you know what I mean? Like somebody who, that's why I left college. You know, I went to college for a very little bit of time, and all the professors, they didn't have businesses. I went for business administration. They didn't have businesses. They didn't have no money. You could tell that they didn't have no money, because if they had businesses and money, they wouldn't have time to sit there and teach that class. So I was like, and I'm reading books, and I'm able to, I feel like I was teaching them things, and I'm like, this is not right, man. You know, I need a mentor. I don't need a professor. And that just drives me nuts, man. When somebody goes to tell somebody to do something or tries to give them advice and guidance, and they don't have any receipts, dude, don't tell me nothing, man. Like if you don't have the receipts to show and you haven't went through the fire, you can talk all you want, but I ain't got I can't incline my ear, man. It's just not going to happen, man. So that's so important. And then, I tried to never be that. Like I'm never trying to tell somebody or even slightly guide them in any form of sense of direction when I haven't even been through that thing. Like it's great, it's just mind boggling, and I cannot stand that, and even, I remember, Patrick Bet David one time, he was telling a story about him and his wife. They went to marriage counseling, and then the marriage counselor, he was like, so what do you do? And I think he said, oh, apparently he was a counselor. I don't remember if this is exact, but I'm just giving an example. And then he was like, well, what time do you get home at night? He's like, well, I get home at 7, and I sit with my family and I eat with them. And he said he paid him and he left. And he was like, man, we're not even done. He's like, we are done. He's like, we don't have the same life. So you cannot give me any form of advice. I don't get home at 7 o'clock. I'm home at 11 o'clock at night, and I'm working, from dusk to dawn. Right. And it's just got to be that. Like, you got to know, even when you intake information or when you provide information, allow it to be from a place of truth, but nah, that's so good. And that's why it's so important to me, even to grind and to hustle the way I'm doing it now. Like, and then, that way, once I do begin to, and I'm slowly starting to establish my team and build my team, but I want them to know, Nick's the real deal, man. Nick ain't going to tell me do something that I have never done. Nick's out in the front lines with us. You know what I mean? And that's when they're going to more so watch your demonstration and not have to, you ain't got to talk as much, because you could just show by example. My grandfather did that, man. He would just show. He didn't always have to talk. He was just the prime example of what it was just to be a man and stand 10 toes down with his chin up at all times. And he went through a lot, man, but he never let it show, you know what I mean? And just, that's just important, man. That's very, very important.
Hey, Nick, what's your schedule look like since you got back from conference? Has that changed very much? Because your numbers have gone up considerably. What are you working each week? What days you working? What times you working? So
schedule is Dow Day Monday. I just tweaked it again. I was in the field every day. So now is Monday dialing, Tuesday in the field, Tuesday, Wednesday, dialing Thursday for Friday, Saturday. And then I do a minimum of 10 appointments for each day. So 40 appointments. The IMO, or the place, your practice company, before you got here, were they preaching that type of schedule, that type of work ethic? Or I doubt if they were working that way where you came from. Yeah, no, they weren't working like that, and I smelled that as soon as I was there. That's why I was going so quick.
Got it. And you got here, and you saw the kind of numbers and the work ethic that people had here, and that kind of changed everything for you, right?
Without a doubt, yeah. I saw it was real. Like I say, I'm in here with Ryan Urbanski, man, and I get to sit I was sitting eye shot of him, and I watch what he does and how he operates and how he moves. And again, receipts. I can walk in his office and see his plaques on his wall and say, okay, he's the real deal. And then not to mention, you see the work that he puts behind to do that. You know what I mean? Playing is not easy. You know what I mean? It's not always easy. And don't, shame on, you cannot expect it to always be easy. It's just not, that's not what it is. If it was easy, everybody would do it, man. And everybody would be throwing up crazy numbers. So expect it to be a little hard, and it's okay to do it a little hard. You know what I mean? If you expect to do it hard, it's not going to be as hard as you think. If you expect it to be cold outside, all right, I'm going to take a jacket, I'm going to go. But if you just walk out there and it ain't cold and you got a wife beater on you or a tank top, you can be like, God damn, you know what I mean? It's going to be a little tough. It's going to be a little rugged, and everybody will be okay to get through it. But yeah, it's you gotta do what you gotta do, man.
Nick, I talk to new agents every day, and I hear people, they call in, I hear the same complaints all the time, but people talk about the leads, and I see the kind of numbers you're putting up, and everything you're buying is coming out of the Integrity Lead Center. Is that? I know you just recently started the Hall of Fame leads, but I wouldn't recommend that for anyone until they started putting up the kind of numbers that you're putting up. But what we see you're doing is the same tools and resources that everyone on this call has access to.
The only reason, Mike, that I'm buying leads outside of integrity is because I bought all the integrity leads, like in the areas that I run. Like whenever I go to buy leads, it's like maybe 50 leads in there, man, from what I have access to. So I had no choice but to branch out. I love, I say this wholeheartedly, man. I love ILC leads, dude. Because
And
I've worked.
when we
Go
say
ahead.
ILC, you're working the internet leads out of there. Are you doing any of the other types of leads that are in there? Or is it 1 month, 3 months internet?
1 month, 3 months, and if they're all out, then I buy the new instance.
Got it. Everyone, like I said, we hear it every day and people want to know the lead source. I get text every day and we have Nick on here. But I think what Nick, you've shown more than anything else is it comes down to mindset. Just the way, and my wife and I, it's funny, she was like, who's on the call tomorrow night? And I said, Nick. She goes, oh, she goes, that guy, the way he speaks, he's so confident, he's so positive. She goes, there's no wonder he's having success. I said, exactly. I said, can't you tell? And my wife doesn't even work here, but she obviously is around a lot. And she said, it's very noticeable when you talk to certain people with who's going to have success and who's not. And she said, just the way he carries himself, he's such a positive person. I had no doubt that he was going to have a lot of success here. I said, absolutely. But you right out the gate, you sat down, you worked, your work ethic was crazy, but on top of it, you had the right mindset. Can you speak a little bit more to exactly, what that has meant to you since you have come aboard? I know you have a background as a fighter, and you obviously have to be very mentally strong to do that. What has that done, and how's that helped you have success since you've been here?
Yeah. So look, I was telling Frank the other day, and I think I was telling you too, man. So there's this framework, right? I'm about to flip this. Let me see if can you guys see my camera? Let me see. Can you even see my camera?
Nope.
You can see a black screen.
Oh, okay. Was it black the whole time?
Yeah.
Yep. Just turn your phone around.
Yeah, right. At least turn it on. Right. All right, give me 1 second. I got this thing pulled up. I want to show you guys. Let me see. There we go. All right, look. So this thing right here, right? Ray Dalio has a book called Principles. Can you guys see that? It's a super blurred. I can
No, we can see it. We can see it.
All right, look. This is a goal, right? So he has a goal. Second step in the process is problem. Okay. There's a problem. Step 2. That's where most people jump ship. The second thing you get to is a problem. That's where a lot of people say, you know what, man, I knew this was BS. I knew these leads suck. I knew this wasn't for me. I knew this was going to be hard. I know this is a MLM system. That's this, right? But you create a design for your problem. Okay. What is the problem? Is it because I suck at selling? Is it because I'm not mentally tough? Whatever the problem is. And this is on every area of life. Like every time you have a goal, the second step is going to be a problem. Diagnose the problem. Okay, what is the problem? Okay, you create a design to fix the problem, right? Okay, and then you do it. Execute. Goal, problem, diagnose that problem, create a design, create a solution right here to fix it, execute. And then that's a never-ending process all the way up, man. You know what I mean? So like that's, instead of trying to avoid problems, know that that's basically the first thing coming. That is the first thing coming. If you have any walk of life, everybody knows that. Everybody has problems, man. And they come quick. And instead of like that, why me? Instead of like, man, why me? And you have like a try me, like, all right, here's a problem. I knew it was coming, so now let's get to it. That is going to take you so far in life, man. The second thing,
right there, I can't even, like that right there. If y'all don't make an extra $100,000 this year based off of that alone, you're not paying attention, dude. I don't go through that a step by. Can you in fact, you know what, go back to a problem, a goal that you had, a problem. Can you walk through a scenario? Because I remember a few times calling and going, and dude, that's why I love talking to you, because you call me with something, you're like, dude, this is what happened, here's the problem, here's what I'm gonna do to fix it, boom. And I don't even need to speak. You're like Depot, like you're gonna be massively successful, and we ain't done shit for you. Mm-hmm. And that's what people need to realize, is you take everything in your own hands. But go through a scenario and kind of put that into perspective for people, what that really is.
Yep. So so I do a lot of in-home, right? So the first thing I was getting shot was on the phone, right? And so let's go to no-shows. I was getting no-showed at a point in time a lot, man. And I'm like, all right, something is not right. Because there's no way that my no-show ratio was high as it was, man. But it was like going, and so I was like, all right. So I started tweaking on the phone a little bit. Okay, so I needed to tie it down better, and it was something so small as, look, I got 15, 20 appointments tomorrow. I really don't. I have 15, 20 appointments tomorrow. Is there any reason to believe I have 15, 20 families I need to see tomorrow? Is there any reason to believe that 6 o'clock not going to work for you? So now, not only did they say, yeah, 6 will be fine, but I'm making them again reiterate, say, yeah, yep. There's no reason to believe that the 6 won't work for me. So it's just these little nuances. The problem was I was getting no-showed. I had to diagnose it. Why do these people keep not showing me? Oh, okay. They think that my time's not valuable, and then they could just reschedule if they need to reschedule. So, okay. So what I'm going to do, I'll create a design. Okay. So I have 15, 20 families I need to see on a daily basis. At least that's what I was saying. Like I told you guys, it's only 10, but I'm not going to tell them that, right? So it's like, okay, 15 to 20 families I need to see. Is there any reason to believe I'm going to lock you in at that 6 o'clock spot? Is there any reason to believe that you won't be there? And then and then I just continue to do that. That fixed that. And then a lot of the times another problem that would lie, especially on the phones, and even sometimes I hear people falling with it in home are social securities, right? And I'm just going like through step by step on the sales process. Social securities. If I'm going through an application and I'm sitting there with you, and I say, and do you mind providing me your social security? They're gonna be like, no, man, you're weird, you're acting weird, this whole thing's weird. I'm not doing it. When I go through, okay, how tall are you? Okay, what state were you born? Okay, what's your social? Okay, boom, boom, boom. Like I'm not even skipping a beat. I'm asking them just as confident for their social as I do for their height and weight. I really don't care because, and then a lot of the times, even think about it. Like it's funny with me because I'm in home. Like a lot of the houses that I'm in sometimes, like dude, you can't do nothing with your social. I can't do nothing with the damn social. You know what I mean? Like we're in a trailer for Christ's sakes. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna do nothing with social. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just like a scarce factor. And then the same thing with banking. When I'm going through their information on the application, okay, and then it's checking the savings account. I'm not weird with it. Which account are you going to connect this to your checking or your savings? Like you shouldn't even ask me why. Like that shouldn't even like. Which one are you going to do? Are you doing your checking account or are you doing your savings account? Okay, and which bank are you going to do? But I even catch the bank off the financial inventory. Okay, do you bank with a credit union or a financial institution? Financial institution. Which one? Like I'm not making it weird. Well, okay, which bank? PNC. And then I'll write on. Then like as I'm going through, I already know that with PNC. Oh, okay, you connecting this to your checking or your savings account. Okay, with the PNC account, I already got the routing. Pull the routing. Oh, okay, this is the routing. All right, what's your account number? Boom, and then it's done. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, so a couple things like but I would again, I would run into problems with them. They'd be like, "All right, good much checking and savings," and then do they still sometimes sue me? Yeah, you know what I mean? Like they do, and they just might be. I was talking with the client the other day, and she didn't want to give it to me, and then like, well, she didn't explicitly say that, but she was like, it's at work. I'm like, who has their banking information at work? But, and then as conversation ensued, she's like, yeah, some life insurance lady came around before collecting cash. And then she ripped us off. So that was the real problem. You know what I mean? So it wasn't that she didn't necessarily trust me so much. Somebody gave her a bad taste on it, right? So somebody done did that, right? But yeah, I mean, and then even I don't know, on the phones, I wasn't doing it as well as I wanted to try them both. So I started doing in-home too. And I remember, when you guys were talking earlier, like about that fear thing, like, and I was thinking about it. My first in-home appointment, the guy told me on the phone, he's like, I ain't giving no personal information. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna go door knock. Right. I was at the door hoping his ass didn't answer the phone, man. I'm like, damn. I at the door. I'm like, damn, man, he done told me. And sure enough, man, he answered that door like, man, I told you I don't want to give you none of this information, blah, blah, blah. I was like, all right, well, that's out the way now. So problem is out the way. Now it's created, diagnose the problem, create a design and fix the thing, right? So
Nick, what day or what time every day are you in that office dialing to book your appointments?
So I dropped my daughter off at school at 8, and then her school was right around the corner, so like 8:10.
Got it. So every day, and what time do you make that first telephone call? You on the phone by 8:30?
Yeah, definitely by 8:30. Yeah.
Okay. And generally each day, I mean, how long do you dial till? What time are you wrapped up?
I just got done. Well, I'm not even done. I mean, I got a couple appointments still that I need to do. It depends, right? Hopefully they're quick, but I like to schedule solid appointments. I'm not just trying to put something on the books. And again, I like to tie it down. And another thing, guys, when I tie down appointments, I I always ask, okay, who are you looking for coverage for, yourself or a spouse as well? You know what I mean? That way they're not like, oh, I thought, this wasn't for me, or I thought this, okay, who are you looking for coverage for, yourself or a spouse? Okay, well, perfect. Because my job's simple. It's just to see if I can get you qualified. Your job at that point would allow me to know how much coverage you were looking for and what's affordable for you. So I'm telling you what's affordable for you. This is not free. Okay, so that gets that out of the way. And then again, by me saying, are you looking for coverage for yourself for a spouse as well? That gets rid. Now I'm kind of like persuading the persuasion, right? And I'm gonna get back to your question in a sec, Mike. But I'm kind of like persuading the persuasion, right? So now they're like, okay, I was looking for this. I'm telling you right now that I'm looking for this. So that way, when I get there, I don't have to sell you. I just need to inform you at that point. I don't need just to allow you to know, like, oh, you really need this. I don't have to do none of that. You told me you need this. That's why I'm here right now.
Yeah.
So, and then I dial until whenever I'm done, man, so however long it takes to make sure I get 10 on the books, so, I mean, I got a couple left right now in real time, that I need like another 2 appointments for Wednesday. So I'll knock them out tomorrow. Morning.
And that's the exact answer I thought you were going to give. You dial until you're done. I think there's way too many people. They come in here and they put a time limit on it and they don't have their schedule set. But the people that come in and have success, they stay in that office until it's finished. In the beginning, it's sometimes a lot longer, right? You're in that office. I've got in the office at 8 a.m. and left at 9 p.m., but I dialed until I had my appointments. When you're a full-time agent, it's 30 minimum appointments a week. But Nick, I think I saw something last week. You're running what, 40 appointments a week? Is that the number?
Yeah, minimum of 40.
There you go. When you're new, when you have goals to hit and you're trying to gain that tacit knowledge, obviously the more that you're out there meeting with clients,
right,
the quicker that you can gain that knowledge. But people, they come in here and they call themselves full-time, and instead of running 40 appointments a week, run 15 to 20. And the knowledge that you need to learn to be good, rather than it taking a month, 2 months, 3 months, they'll stretch it out over 9, 10, 12 months, a year longer, because they're just not getting through that learning curve fast enough. And they're just not running enough appointments to do that. So I applaud
Mike,
that you're doing that. Yes.
And what else he said, I think, is that the most important is he set solid appointments. And listen, we're all guilty of
100%.
just trying to get that book filled and setting a week appointment. And if you think about it, like when you see Nick's run days, it's like check after check after check after check.
Yep.
Dude, that's fun. Like, I don't know, like if you've been in the field, when you're collecting checks and you're on fire, it's great. It's fun. So Nick, did you always, or is this another issue with the no-shows, and that you said, you know what, I'm going to focus on setting solid appointments so that I'm not wasting, because that's all you do when you set bullshit appointments or weak appointments. It's a waste of your time. They're not going to be there. They know that they're going to be there. They're not going to be there. When did you make that adjustment, Nick? Because I think if people just spent a little extra time on the phone setting real solid appointments, then their run days results would be so much different.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And if I'm dealing with, a lot of people who are unqualified, I need to know that on the phone. Are you working, retired, or disabled? You know what I mean? And if they're disabled, you still got a shot. If they're not working, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow up with you in about 30 days, see if you get on your feet by that time. And there's nothing there. There's no reason for me to go there. And not to mention, I don't want to go there and you not know what I'm there for. Okay, so who are you looking for coverage for? Yourself or for a spouse as well? For myself. All right, roger that. So you know what you're looking for. You know why I'm coming now, okay? And then again, just to make sure I tie it down to make sure, like, I have 15 to 20 people to see, and then when that draws true on the 10, I'm not in there with commission breath, man. I'm not in there like, with 3 appointments for the day, like, shit, man, I got to sell something today, man. And I was doing that, because I was trying to do 60 appointments a week, and that was kind of tough it was just hard. But again, it was trial and error, right? And then I'm out on some days with 4 appointments, and then I'm like, you just get not desperate, but it's just like, and then you get irritated. It's not good, man. But once you go into the first house, you hit a sale or you don't hit a sale, no matter what, I got 9 more people to go see. And not to mention, it's like, well, I'm going to think about it. Yeah, there's not much to think about. Number one, we don't even know if you're going to get qualified. So all we're doing today is submitting an application, and then you build more rapport by submission. And then you get to the banking information. Then that's what I'm saying. Like, all these things connect, right? Well, I just want to think about it. Yeah, there's really nothing to think about right now, man. All we're going to be able to do anyway is submit an application, see if you get qualified by the carrier or not. And then once you're in the banking information, so if this does get approved, what day do you want this to draft on? So now that whole think about it thing's out the way. You know what I mean? Like, the finance typically is most of the time money. and then that's out of the way, man. And then you're not in there with commission, brother. You know, can't you just come back? I really can't, man. I have 10 families, and that's real. Like, I'm not coming back. There's nothing to come back to. You know what I mean? So that, let me think about it, reschedule for another day when I feel like it. Look, no, man, no, I don't have time to do that. I'm going to buy enough leads, and I'm going to set enough appointments to where, with or without this sale, I'm moving on. Hopefully I can help you, but I can only help you if you allow me to help you. And I'm not going to beg you to help you. I'm not going to do it because somebody else is after you, waiting for me right now. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's how it's got to be, man. And that's what it is, but you got to make it really like that. Again, that draws to the practitioner thing, man. Like, I'm not out there playing like I'm real. I like to, when I'm out and I'm busy, I'm busy. You know, Kobe Bryant said it like this, man. Kobe Bryant's like, somebody asked him, I think it was Patrick Bet-David. He asked him, what does your wife think with you being on the road 9 months a year? And he said, man, she says, if you're out, win that ring, man, come back with the ring. I'm not out there playing, man. I got kids in my house. I ain't got time to be out there playing with you and see if you want to think about it. I ain't got time. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here to submit an application. That's why I'm here. That's why you called me here. That's why we scheduled this appointment. That whole think about it thing is out the window, man. Like, either you do or you don't. And then if you don't, and you want to reschedule with somebody else, man, because I'm not coming back. And I know we got the product too. Like, we got the product on the street, right? You know what I mean? Like, we have all of the vendors. We got everybody. You know what I mean? So it's like, we are going to get you the best option you have. You do it now or don't do it at all. If money's the issue, we could postpone the initial draft, and that's no problem. But I'm not going to be running around because you don't know what you want to do. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not doing it.
And that's, Nick, but you can only have that mindset and that attitude if you have enough appointments.
Without.
That's the key to having a solid minimum 30 appointments a week if you're full time. What would you say as a new agent, Nick, was the toughest challenge or obstacle in getting started? What do you think the toughest thing was for you?
Just finding my flow, man. But I would also study, man. The thing that gave me the most liberty, man, was I always respect processes, man. Like, I knew it was going to be a process. I didn't come in expecting to be the best, man. I really didn't. You know what I mean? Nor do I think I am now, right? You know, but I always know that there's a process, and I learned that through life. Like, you cannot take elevators, man. You have to take the stairs, and there's no way around that. Nor do I ever want to. I never want to take no elevators, man. I want to get there the tried and true way, man, to where once it's you respect it, you respect how you got there, the other people respect how you got there. You know what I mean? Like, and then it could be you're thorough. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many. I remember when I was working in the meat department, man, the guy was a manager. He never even cut meat before. And like, nobody respected this guy, man. You know, and that's all the way around the board. Like, you can't teach boxing if you ain't never boxed. Like, don't tell me how to block a punch if you never blocked a punch. It's not going to work, man. So respect the process. But the hardest thing was probably to allow myself to do that, man, at times, because it's like, you see people throwing these numbers up, and it's like, yeah. You want catch these people, but again, like, these people have been doing this for years, man. So it's like, or no matter how long, years, it doesn't even matter, because you got some people that's been doing it years who still ain't doing the numbers, right? But you got some people who are grinding 12 hours a day. Respect that, man. Don't try to circumvent that. Respect the fact that they've been doing this for 12 hours, 15 hours a day for 6 days a week, whatever they do. You know what I mean? Like, you got to respect people that are blazing the trail for you, man. So
that was one of the when you said, because you said that to me like the first or second time you and I ever spoke. Mm-hmm. And I give the same spiel, like, dude, like, this is the greatest business ever. If you just stick around long enough to figure it out, and how long it's going to take you to figure it out could be different than how long it took me and how long it takes Mike. But if you said that, like, dude, I respect the process. I understand that I cannot take the elevator to success. I got to take the stairs. And at that moment I said, dude, you know what, and listen, people are good talkers. But that was not one. I was like, I like Nick. He's got a good head on his shoulders. So I love that answer, because too many people are looking for that shortcut to get there, and there is none. There is, and it's almost offensive if you think about it. Like, yeah. What you've done the last 2-3 months, if someone comes in and tries to just do it without working that hard, it's offensive to you, right? It's offensive to me. We grind. I mean, the stuff we've gone through, everybody that's been I don't know of anybody that's made it to the top of anything that hasn't been through a bunch of shit, right? Right. It just doesn't happen. Mike, are there any questions in the chat for Nick?
There's a bunch of them there. Nick, I have a question for you though. How how many times a day or how many people each day from this group are calling you, asking you exactly how you do what you do?
Nah, none.
Is Vernique, how many people are calling you every day asking you how you do exactly what you do? Vernique without the O.
Without the
Oh, not every day, but people in the office ask.
But your
But-
phone is, you see that right there blows my mind, because as a new agent, I called everyone, and anytime we're all in Discord. And what I do is when I see that Discord go off, I call and say, tell me, what lead was that? How was that appointment? Were there any objections? How did you overcome that objection? What were the people like when you went in there? I want to know everything, and I do it all the time. Even now, right? I'm trying to learn telesales, and I'm not very good at it. But I'm in here. I've worked the last 14 days straight because I'm terrible at these damn telesales, but I refuse not to be good at it. So I'm in here working, right? I was here yesterday, I was here Saturday, and I'll keep doing it until I'm good. But I'm calling people all over this company, and I'm like, what do you do? How do you do it? What lead did you work? I just saw you sell that. What did they say? I saw Josh sell a VSA lead. I go, Josh, when did you get that lead? What did the person say? What objections did they give? And I'm surprised that more people aren't calling the people in this group that are having success and wanting to know exactly how they do it. We have,
You know why,
amazing
Mike?
people in this team, ego, or they
Yeah,
don't
well,
want to.
they really don't want to work. Well, they know, listen, and if you've been around longer than I'm going to say 6 months, you already know what you need to do. Like, that's, to me, I'm convinced that they're not calling Nick because Nick's going to give them the raw truth, or Vernique, and they're going to tell them give them an answer that they don't want to hear, which is you need to set 10 appointments a day, no matter how long it takes you. You need to buy leads week in and week out. Nick, how many days a week do you buy leads?
At least twice. If I can't get enough on, I buy them whenever I need them. You know, whenever
You need them.
If I
But
can't buy
it's
on Monday, I'll buy the rest on next dial day.
and but you always have fresh leads to you to call on a dial day, correct?
Yeah, always.
Yeah. And you'll stay there till 9 o'clock tonight to get your 2 more
I'm done.
appointments if need be.
I'm done.
See, I mean, I wish it was a simpler. Mike, remember you used to come in my office going like, you'd ask Jamie a question, then you come in and ask me and see if it was the same answer. You'd ask me a question, ask Jamie the same question. Like, I think people know but they just don't, they think, again, they're looking for that elevator and there is none. They're really, I mean, I wish I could give you one.
We're all looking for, I know, I've only been in the business eight years, and I've been through every level of it, up until where I am now, but I was always looking. I thought that there was something more. And I think things got easier for me when I just realized that there is nothing more. All we do is we buy leads, we dial them, we set appointments, we go see clients, and there's nothing more than that. There are no special leads. There isn't anything special out there. We just work. I think the day it was almost liberating when I realized that everyone was telling me the truth, and there wasn't some big group of people trying to hide the secret from me. When I realized that, then everything got to be easy, and it breaks my heart when I see we have so many people on this team. And I know that there's a lot of people that want to have the kind of success that we see the people at the top having, but the only reason they're not having the success is because they just simply don't believe in themselves. And that's why Jamie was talking about that earlier today. We need to talk more about mindset. We want to talk, and everyone wants to learn all the skills and so forth, but those skills that we're able to teach mean nothing if you don't have the proper mindset. And that's what it comes down to.
No doubt. No doubt about it. All right, let's get Nick one more question. If you had, if I'm brand new and you gave me one pointer that you thought the most important thing you could tell me about success in this industry, what would that be?
Don't quit, man. Just don't quit. Go through it. And it's that simple, man. Just go through it. Go through all the suck. Go through, find the suck, figure out what you suck at, fix it. Find somebody who's good at it. Like you said, some people, KG, man, she's a bitch. She comes in here and kills these phones. She's in and out. You know what I mean? But she's been doing this. So I respect it. And I love just being able to be earshot away from her and catch game from her. You know what I mean? Like, crying when she leaves. You know what I mean? Like, well, I got to be here till 9. Maybe if my ass didn't suck, maybe I wouldn't have to be here till 9. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that I suck, but again, like, I respect the process. You know what I mean? Like,
I love that.
Yeah, definitely just don't quit. Don't quit. Just stay doing it, and then the fruit will come from it. But you got to stay doing it and do it wholeheartedly, man. Like, don't just do it and expect, like, this is not a salary. Don't expect to be given something or given some position or given more money or be able to go out and on run days be able to crank, sale after sale. Because, and again, that's why I don't mind staying till 9, because that makes, by me staying until I'm done, man, that makes my Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Fridays, Saturdays easier, because I'm with people who are solid appointments. I know that I've done everything in my power to make sure that they're eligible, that they're ready to rock. They know what I'm coming for. I don't have to be in there forever. I don't need to go to their birthday parties. I go in there, write an application, and I'll leave. You know what I mean? Like, and of course, build rapport with them, and that's great. And then, but know me as the guy. I was in the lady's house the other day, Frank, man. She said, "Damn, man, she got another policy." She was like, "Damn, man, the guy." She's like, "You are fast." I was in and out. She was like, "If I have anybody, I'm gonna make sure I send them to you." Everybody don't want you to be their best friend. You know what I mean? Some people, like with me, man, like if you do something in my house, come do it and leave, man. Like, I don't want you here all day. I don't want to know your family. I don't need to know none of that. Like, just come do your job and roll out. Some people want to talk, and that's cool too, but I think a lot of the times, man, people just want to respect you as a professional, be the professional, go and do what you came for, and then be on your way, man. But yeah, as far as the answer to the question, just don't quit, man. Just stay doing it. Figure out where your flaws are. Try to fix them to the best of your ability. And if you don't know the answer, find somebody who's good. You know what I mean? Brian, you said, man, calling, dude, I will call Ryan all the time. I still call him sometimes, but I would call him all of the time. Like, hey, man, what do you think? Would this happen? And he would be like, do this, do that, do this, do that. Now I call much more less frequent because I don't need to as much, man. You know what I mean? Like, I took the information, I was able to capture and act on it, man. But yeah, if you have
just to piggyback off that. So, like, for y'all that don't know, do you work with Ryan?
What do you mean?
Like, who hired you?
You hired me.
Okay. Does Ryan have any vested interest in your success?
No.
How often does Ryan answer the phone when you call?
We talk probably 3 or 4 times a day.
Okay. So, like, y'all understand that's what a team does. And like the reason Ryan's a good fit for Nick is Ryan's in the field. He works like a maniac. And you remind me of that when I met you. But I talk to Ryan about you all the time. And Ryan gets as much from helping you as you get from him helping you. And it's if people understood that and we did more of that cross interconnection team stuff, we would grow a lot faster, because you might not relate to me, but you might relate to somebody else. And so, and I don't, just like with first in this business, I came in under a guy in Texas. He was a hillbilly redneck. I like hillbillies and rednecks. But he just wasn't my cup of tea. And then I met Sean, who he had no vested interest in helping me, but he did. And my life's been forever changed. I just think that's what FFL is all about, is serving when you don't have to serve and helping people that you don't have to help. And it's not about what you get in return, even though both of you have benefited tremendously from that relationship. It's Ryan didn't know that. And I call him and say, hey, I'm gonna send a guy down. He's like, dude, send him down. I got you. Like, that to me, I love that. I love Ryan to death. He's a team guy. He'll do anything for anybody. But we need more people like that, because this is the kind of success that more people can see if we just start doing that. And it's massively important, was it not, to watch him do what he does?
Without a doubt.
Yeah. Mike, you got anything to add?
No, man, Nick, I appreciate what you do every day. I love talking to you. Just setting the example for the entire team. Next week, we should start seeing more people on that 10,000 plus submit. I mean, we've got some amazing people here. Nick shared today exactly what you need to do. Buy internet leads 1 in 3 months. And he shared the schedule that you need to work. I think the one thing he did share, but probably the thing you can't pick up the easiest on, is his mindset and the way he thinks. And honestly, that matters more than anything else. So the more you read the books that Frank talked about and start working on changing the way you think, I think we'll have more people climbing to the top faster the quicker everyone does that. So
10,000 should be easy, guys. Everybody on here should be doing. I was doing 10 part-time. I was doing 10 with other jobs. That everybody can do that, man. Like, but if you sit there and believe you can or you can't, either way, you're right.
That's right. I appreciate it. Everyone, thank you. We'll see you next Monday.